Hello everyone, welcome to the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture. I'm of course your host TJ. Today resuming our reading of the Fellowship, in which the Fellowship goes into the mines of Moria. A very significant moment for a whole host of reasons. Now of course we get the introductory to the mines, we see them from the outside, we meet the Watcher in the water, and then of course we have the traversing of the mines themselves. And we get a lot of insight, as much as we're able to, of Dwarven culture and why the dwarves would want to return to to Moria or Khazad-dûm, despite the fact that it's this ruined kingdom. And as with so many other chapters in Middle-earth, what I think is really powerful about the entire sequence where we first are introduced to Moria, both outside and inside, is how much like so many other pieces of Middle-earth we've seen it, for example, in Eriador. We've seen it, we'll even see it in, I think, in a little bits of Gondor. This is a declining age. The Third Age is an age of downfall, to some degree, or an age in which the world is in ruins in some way. I mean, the North is desolate. So much of Holland is itself desolate, and so I think that what permeates this is that sense of melancholy that we have seen so frequently throughout Lord of the Rings, and I think that makes Lord of the Rings so, I don't know, so resonant for most of us. I mean, maybe because we're living in a particular moment where ruin seems just around the corner. I don't know. These chapters always hit me even more powerfully as the company is wandering through this vast dwarven kingdom, which is now shrouded in darkness and is largely abandoned. I think that it's precisely because of how grand, because of the grandeur of these ruins, that we get a sense of just how much has been lost, and how much the second and third ages of Middle-earth have been one about decline, of falling into darkness, both literal and metaphorical. And I think this chapter, because of its attention to setting and to detail, which of course is always so strong in Tolkien to begin with, we get, this sense with the dwarves, and also, through the bits that Gimli reveals, that sense of longing for a home that can never truly be recaptured. And one does get the sense that even if in some distant future the ring is destroyed and, things are freed from the shadow of Sauron, we might never actually see something of this like again. The majesty, the beauty, the grandeur of these past civilizations can never be recaptured. It can perhaps be repaired. There might be shadows of it in the present, but it can never really be recaptured. And that, of course, leads us to the very last part of this chapter, which sees that we enter the Tomb of Balin, which, of course, is devastating for a whole host of reasons, especially if we've read The Hobbit and we know the deep bond between Bilbo and Balin. And so we know now that he is dead and that his efforts to reclaim Moria for the dwarves has failed. So this is really a bleak chapter, and that's okay. I think that Tolkien is very effective at creating these very deep, resonant chapters. So anyway, that's what I have for today. So as always, thank you so much for joining me here at the Pisces Guide to Pop Culture as I read Lord of the Rings. I appreciate it. Take care, y'all.